Today's episode is brought to you by Workfeed, the all-in-one platform to manage your restaurant team.
My husband is a chef, and when he was back, is it 25, 30 years ago, he started in a kitchen. It was yelling, it was, with a cigarette in, smoking, drinking. I think part of the business, not to be stressed out. People were drinking more, smoking more, and then they yelled. And people were like, okay, that's just how it is. And I think then, all the thinking about well-being in other industries came more up maybe in 20 years ago. And now it's also started in this industry or 10 years ago. But I think still going on too much.
I think it's very clear from all the conversations we had so far that most young restaurateurs are focusing on this subject.
Yeah.
They really want to change it.
Yeah.
So there is definitely a movement.
Yeah.
Is that also something you spoke about at Skovmøllen?
Every day. I think, I always say people, planet, and then comes profit.
Yeah.
And I can't say it enough. And it's also why I went into the business, because I come from a totally different business. And I have just been, I'm married to a chef, so I have heard his stories. I have been working as a waiter when I was a young student. People yelled at me, and it was just too much. And then we went to, we opened a restaurant on the other side of the world, in the Dominican Republic. When was it? 10 years ago, actually, right now. We moved in, was it May 2016, to open a restaurant there, to try something totally different.
How come that you decided to do that?
It must be the hamster wheel, you had enough of it. And you just wanted
actually, we went to a wedding down there, and we,
it
was totally crazy, but it is the story, and maybe I'm a little bit, the popcorn up here is just, And then we went to this small Airbnb, and it was a very bad restaurant there, and it was nice on the beach, and then I couldn't sleep at night, and we had we still have kids, but at that time they were only 5 and 8.
Yeah, then you can still do it a bit easier, of course.
Yeah, but then next morning I said to my husband, I'm a little bit tired. I didn't sleep too much this night. I said, why? I just made just a small business plan for making a restaurant here. And he was like, shut up.
If my wife
Don't
would
do
say
this
that
to
in the
me.
morning, that would be,
and I said, can you see it? It's just the weather is good. Back home, we always just running as a, kids family, which we do. And then actually we asked the owners, and at the same time our house was for sale and it was sold when we were there. So there were many things going up. So we ended up moving to Dominican Republic for a year, working on making a restaurant from scratch.
And you spoke a bit of Spanish, you said?
I spoke a bit, and my husband learned a little bit, and the kids went to school. And long story short.
How long did you keep that restaurant?
9 months.
9 months?
Yeah.
That's relatively short, right?
Yeah, but we rented it, and then we tried it, and it was very funny, and it was also tough at the same time.
Different culture.
Must
totally
have been tough
different.
That you're out there,
but the thing I took from me, as I said, what did I put in my backpack? Was people were smiling, nobody was yelling, people were poor, still happy, and I was like, how can it come that we in a country in Denmark, quite rich, most of us, we have money much more than in the Dominican.
Yeah, way more capacity at least.
Yeah, we are often, not angry, but we're not happy, we're not smiling, we're not even saying hello to each other on the street. So how can we change this? And still also with my background in, being in a consult for well-being in other, businesses, and with this in my backpack and small things coming to me, it was like, okay, we can do better in Denmark. So, and then I had another job. We were coming back after all this experience with the kids, my husband, so on. And then was, and then when Jens, the owner of the restaurant now that I'm part of, asked if I want to be part of it, I said, yeah, but then my goal or my, passion or mission should be that to try to change
to be able to actually put that into the business.
Yeah.
And the business you did in, or the restaurant in the Dominican Republic, was that the first step for you into the industry in the first place, or did you do things before?
As I said, I met my husband 25 years ago. He's a chef.
Yeah,
in a restaurant. I was a waiter. He yelled a little bit.
Okay, so you met in the restaurant.
I said, fuck him. And
and he was like, I like that. Okay,
No.
Like, sure.
And so of course, that was my first experience. Then I have a lot of other experience from, been working at the university. I'm educated at the university in Spanish and IT and other things. And, but I think it always have been part of me, want to make experience, want to make people happy, to do something different. And then when I have the option to be part of Skovmøllen's restaurants, which is now 3 restaurants, not only 1, and to try to contribute.
But those who haven't visited Skovmøllen and the restaurants there, can you put some words on the atmosphere, the concept?
Yeah, of course. Skovmøllen is a very, very old building, have more than 200 years, been restaurant for more than 150. It's the first restaurant, see the scenic, it's in the middle of the forest, 1 kilometer from the beach. Of course, not green all year, but as I said, in all seasons, it's just beautiful. So I don't know if people know Morten Koch, if you hear this podcast, but see the scene is very old and very nice. So, and small, the furniture is just be back in the old days, 150 old, like a museum. Yeah. So, but of course, but of course we try to combine the old, style with modern food, like what we say, open sandwiches or smørbrød in Danish. Yeah. So, and then this was the first restaurant that we started up together, Jens and I, and then my husband came along, and then a lot of people. We were actually fully booked. We open all year, but we almost fully booked every weekend. Also, weekdays. And then Jens, which is an entrepreneur, would like to open more. And we also want to have more space to prep, because the kitchen is very, very small. I think this room here is maybe 10. How big is this room?
15 square meters.
Yeah, and I think it's like our kitchen in the forest. Yeah. Very, very small.
How many seats do you have there in that restaurant?
In summer, we can have up to 300. Yeah. So experience to be like... So I was like, okay, how to make... a good work environment.
You put a tent outside. So
And so we were like, okay, we have to have a prep kitchen. We actually also want to open a restaurant more because we said so much no to everyone that want to have a seat, and we cannot make a building 200 years old again. Yeah. So Jens was looking for another place, and then we found a restaurant in totally modern, a new area in Aarhus called Aarhus Ø, which is very close to the sea. So what we said, that we brought the forest to the sea. And actually inside this restaurant, our toilets is with bird sounds, and it's look like a forest when you
love toilet concepts like that.
Yeah, so actually people also go there just to see the toilet.
Yeah. That's usually a good thing.
Yeah. So we have we have the old restaurant in the forest, the new modern, but still you will see that it's part of Skovmøllen. Yeah. And then for the production kitchen, we were so lucky that we were asked to rent a big kitchen, which is at the horse race track in Aarhus, which is just in the middle. So we have a huge kitchen there. That means actually that the whole work environment for the chefs, which were very, very important for me to build up a good well-being work environment, is that the chefs in the forest could be there from 9 to 5. In the preparation kitchen, they're there for 8 to 4 often. And at the island or at Aarhus Ø, where we also do have open in the evening, it could be from like 10 to 10. Or 10 to 5 and 5 to 10. Yeah. So make the hours you work even better.
Now you have those locations. Yeah. One being very old, one being very new. You said you don't have any problems with bookings. Is that because of the history of the Skovmøllen restaurant, or do you do anything to ensure that you get the bookings in?
First of all, I think Skovmøllen as a brand is very strong. And that's also part of, I think, why both Jens bought it and I and my husband want to be part of it, and our employees want to be part of it. It's a nice old brand that we have to care about. So the brand brings us a little, of course. Yeah. But then a lot of people come to us as well, both employees and guests, because we actually show, not only tell, but show that we actually take care of our employees. especially companies, while they hear about our story about how we focus on well-being and trust and, having happy employees, then we have more guests.
And what is the specific things you do to ensure you have happy employees?
We do many things, and of course, a lot of the things is also in the culture. It could, for us, it's a saying that at the restaurants, our employees are right, not always the guests. For many,
That's a big difference.
Yeah, and of course, we're not always right, but often. And when I said that to our employees, remember, you are good. Maybe you are educated, maybe you're not, but just be yourself. Take care of, do your best. You cannot do more. I don't expect you to be perfect. To be perfect is, then you don't feel well-being. I think, so do your best and say if there's any, comments on the food or if people, yell at you. Some guests do, not many, but I think 2%. I think many restaurant owners have tried that, or waiters, or so. But say we're doing best and say sorry, but here our management said that we actually do or have right, we are right, you are not. Not saying that you're wrong always, because you can have as a guest, what can I say, the right meaning about something. But to give back to our employees, to believe in them and their potential.
They kind of always show like, hey, we have your back.
Yeah,
no matter what.
Definitely. And if something goes wrong, and it does sometime, then they can always call me, one of my colleagues, or the restaurant manager. So they should not be scared of tell the guest sorry, but here you actually have to talk in a nice way, in a good voice.
Yeah, and it seems like you're always just telling them that it's fine to make mistakes and it happens and you can come forward with it.
Yeah.
Today's episode is brought to you by Workfeed, the all-in-one platform to manage your restaurant team. Over 2,000 hospitality businesses use Workfeed's workforce management platform to create staff schedules 50% faster, track hours and salaries without errors, streamline team communication, and automate HR processes. Visit workfeed.io to learn more and to try it out for free. I'm curious also, how do you establish a culture like this? Because you have said around 75, 70-ish employees.
It's step by step.
50 of them are part-time, so I guess there's a lot of rotation as well, so it's something you constantly have to keep working on.
There was a lot of rotation. And again, I only been there 3.5 years. It had been there for 4 years. My restaurant manager started just before me. He's from South Africa, Wayne.
Oh, nice.
He had been there now for 4 years. And some of the extra waiters that we have like part-time been there before me. So also I think we have 10 employees starting up before me. Then of course there are rotations in this industry.
People young, studying,
But I think actually have an open mind, building up trust, saying that they always could come with, big and small things, I will always listen, to be curious about not only them at work, but their families, to be very specific and clear about what we expect, for the full-timers, for the chef, for the waiters full-time, to be more curious about their working hours.
Yeah, not just accepted, or just
it's not accepted to have 200 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
I had an interview with a chef, and I asked him, what is your dream for the future? And said, just work like a little bit less. And said, okay.
Just normal hours.
No. And then I asked him, what about, do you mean like 20 hours a week? And said, no, just 40.
Yeah, exactly. Like
normal
hours.
That's so unfair.
And that's, not coming from the industry, being like a normal, work in the office, like 40 is...
You work 40, I do 37. You do overtime.
So, and when I say, I promise you have, like, is it 160 plus breaks or a month? I promise you. Of course, then a chef could come to me and say, hey, can I have some vacation in October? And then I want to work a little bit more in January. And said, let's figure it out. One of our chefs actually just walked the Camino. Nice. For 1 month. And I don't think it's normal that in our industry, that if a chef come and ask, hey, can I walk the Camino for a month? Is it okay to say goodbye? And would you figure out that If it's something, if it developed you as a chef or as a human, of course.
Yeah.
And then, he didn't have all the vacation for it. So I said, then you just have to work a little bit more in January, February.
You can just compensate.
Yeah.
But that's how it should be as well, right? Because it is just a profession, it's work, and it should be the same across
but
industry.
It isn't that like,
No.
I hear from too many chefs that it's, they come from different restaurants, that they work too much and were not like paid. So if they work maybe, let's say, on a more, if we count it every 3 months, and if they have maybe just 10 or 15 hours too much, they're paid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's also the right thing. But indeed, I think it starts with the foundation, and it's something you clearly focus a lot on. Is it also something you're clearly talking about it here, but is it also something you help other restaurateurs with, or try to at least?
It's something that we wanna help. And then I do, and also my colleagues, of course, we tell about it. I do presentations in different network. So a little step by step. It's not that we yell it out to the whole world, but of course I'm happy to sit here and tell about it as well.
Yeah, but I think it's good to yell it out to the whole world, because it should be able to function that way, right?
I also think when you have a chef that walks the Camino for a month, he comes back really energized, of course.
And a little bit
maybe
tired.
not really, maybe sore legs, but
sore,
used to standing up.
Yeah.
But my point is just there is a lot of new impressions, and you might be more inspired.
Yeah.
And also as a person, you might be more interesting to your colleagues because you just experience something, right? Instead of just having the same day every single day. I guess that's also a part of why you were drawn to
the Dominican.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think
that feeling of just experiencing new stuff, not being stuck.
Especially for the young people, because we have, of course, people in and out. But if they're coming to me, I also have a waiter for 2.5 years, and she came to me and said, "Oh, I want to go to Japan," or was it for a half year? And I said, "But I really want to come back afterwards." And said, "Yeah, for sure, you should travel. You're young, get a lot of experience." And I really try not only to be their, manager in the restaurant, but also help them in their life. If I can contribute to give them advice, maybe it's not the best sometimes, but to do. So I see our employees not only as employees but humans, and see them as not only when they're in our
restaurants. If you can give them a rich life, they will be grateful as well.
And they will come back, both of course as guests, but also as employees.
There is a lot of assumptions about. I know you have a lot of young employees as well. Gen Z, some people call them.
Yeah, you have a new generation these days. What is it? Is it Gen A or Alpha?
I started.
But like Gen Z is not the thing to talk about anymore.
But
I think, and we are gone now.
Yeah.
I think I'm more of a millennial. That's
exactly. That's what I mean.
But my point is just some of the things we heard about this generation is like they strive to be, A+ students. They always want to be the best possible person they can be. They might not be accepting the status quo as much as former generations, and they also really want to climb the ladder. Is that also something you experience, and how do you deal specifically with this group of young people?
I actually, some years ago, I was also thinking about the different generations. Now again, I see it just more as individuals and as humans. Definitely some young people are more clear in what they want, more than my parents are than I was. I just follow what the others were doing. They have some expectations, but I actually don't think you can say that they just want to climb the
ladder.
No, the ladder. I think they're more in balance. They have seen their parents working too much, so now they want to stop and say.
I think they're also a big part of the change that is happening. Also, what you are talking about here, it also needed to come from a generation that actually pushes back on it, saying, "Nah, I don't want to do that."
Yeah, they are asking, and actually, I like them for doing it. Sometimes, of course, I said, "Can you just do it? Just do what I told you to do." Like when I maybe said to my kids, but they're asking why. Why are we doing this? What is the meaning behind it? And as I said, sometimes, why are we here? Why I'm in this industry? Why are they in this industry? And why do we want to help others? So I actually like them when they're asking why. And I also have some waiters or some part-time waiters who actually were just waiting for start their studies, and then they started. because the parents told them, "Oh, it's very important that you're starting at the university." 2 months after they called, "Can I come back?" It was not the right thing for me. So I think a thing is also that look at the employees and look at the young people and ask them, what do you really want? Should you follow? Because everybody, I also went to university. It was said that was how it was. But why isn't it okay to be a waiter? Isn't it okay to be a chef? So, I also want to, lift we do have a high level of cuisine and restaurants in Denmark, but maybe tell people on my own generation, like 40 plus, that it's okay that your young kids actually want to be chefs and waiters or
YouTubers.
Something
right.
You don't have to follow your university or the.
No, it can just be a career path. Like again, as we just also spoke about the ladder, not everyone needs to climb it. Also,
no,
like, it's totally fine to do whatever you're happy with.
But you can also develop here, and be better in what we're doing.
And that is also, I think, the benefit of you guys now expanding to several locations is that you also have more to offer. Basically,
Definitely.
Right? You create more positions for those who are ambitious, who want to stay longer or want to grow further, that there's actually space to move forward.
Definitely.
Even though it's been only a few years now, have you already seen like nice progressions like that?
Within each chef or
just employees that you have?
Actually, we right now when we put up a job, actually we don't do, because we have a lot of people just looking for a job, sending us applications without. But we just hired a new chef, head chef for the kitchen, and we got more than 25 applicators. And I think it's a lot within this industry. But yes, we have seen that a lot of people is looking for a job at Skovmøllen because they heard so much good of how we're doing, and how we take care of them. And one chef would definitely also recommend another chef. So
it's so important in the industry to get.
It's
that
very
ball
important,
rolling.
and of course, and if they're with us maybe 1.5, 2 years, I'm happy, because then I put a lot of in their development, in their, as I said, backpack. And if I just put a little bit in their story and their life, and they can take it with them further, and maybe take a little bit of our culture to the next restaurant.
So that is your big dream, that every restaurant one day will just operate the same way?
Yes. And also while we have students or chefs educated, when they're finished, of course they could stay, but I'd rather like them to come out and try another restaurant and maybe again take some of our culture with them, and hopefully not yell or be yelled at. Because this is one of what we said we have of course a manual book, when people start, or kind of
like a handbook,
rules. And I said, if you yell or if you drink or if you smoke,
€5 fine.
Yeah. So actually, then yes, then it's the doors there. So
can you just name a few of those rules in there, just like for maybe people who want to copy it? I'm just curious about.
They can send me an email. I'll send it to them. You cannot yell. If you yell, you'll have the first written.
You get a strike.
And then if you do it again, it's out.
Okay, that's an efficient way to go about it as well.
And the same with drinking within the working hour. Of course, they're welcome to soft drinks, soda
stuff. But alcoholic beverage.
Alcoholic, when I started, it was very normal to have a drink or two within service, and I said it was no go, and also cigarettes. You're not allowed to smoke.
I like that.
I think that's
particular thing, because smoking and food in the combination.
Yeah, and that's also the thing,
and also the unfairness around it, because the only way to get breaks is if you smoke, and that's also why people start smoking. Yeah. Like when I worked in the industry, I also smoked because everyone is smoking in the first place, but you get to take 5 minutes in between service at 7 in the evening real quick, while the others can't. Yeah,
especially because the chefs can stand, behind.
We just had a door next to the station, so you quickly
smoke.
Open it up
But it's not fair, and also, but it's and if you're smoking as a chef, you cannot taste the food as good. Exactly. So that's another way also. So I think it was after a half year or something, we decided in the management group that no smoking, no drinking, and of course no yelling.
A little bit of pushback, I guess, in the beginning.
And then the others, the Jens and Thomas, my partners, like, would you like to tell them? Because I was like, no, you're telling the chef, I will take the waiters. And the first waiter said to me, but hey, we're in the restaurant business. How can you do that? I said, exactly why. Because we are here.
Should be the most obvious one, but somehow...
So
it's just a cultural thing, right?
Yeah.
It's a shift.
It's also that thing, if you are a guest and your waiter smells like they've just been smoking, that's just not
nice. It's not nice.
It's absolutely terrible.
So we actually do have like a frame. You also talked about your culture and how to. Yeah. So one thing is I'm here. We're telling some at the social media and stuff. But when people start, or actually before they start, I have a frame where we said, how do we make well-being at Skovmøllen for all employees? How do we like a great experience for the guest? And what should we do if something is going wrong? Yeah. What is your responsibility as an individual? What is the responsibility as a team? And very important, is our responsibility as a management group. So in the bottom, the management group, of course, always should be there. And then the team and the individual on the top. What can I do to contribute to a nice work well-being place,
So basically, when a new employee comes, the first act of business is please read our Skovmøllen Bible. And
so they will get it sent, on a paper. It's just one paper, so it's quite
That's
easy.
Also good. That is easy.
Yeah. And then when I have the first conversation with them, if it's me who have the interview, they will see it again. And then after maybe a month, I will take, if we have like 5 new people, we will take like a startup meeting where we'll talk about it again and so and so. And then it's also hang up in different doors and so.
Yeah, but it's clearly actively pushed. It's
not like and it's very simple, actually. Some of the thing is that everybody should say hello and goodbye every day. That's the first thing. And
in
maybe
the Nordics, that should not be underestimated to put that down on paper.
But it's actually funny because now I've been working with other restaurants, other business. And one of the things which is most important for employees and, of course, is that people say hello and goodbye. Yeah. Because if you are not seen as a human, and some people can go to an office and, everybody just looking into their computers, not saying hello, they don't see each other. So being seen as a person, both, dishwashers or chefs, head chef. And then we also talk a lot about not being like both over and under. We are on the same level, being...
So no hierarchy.
So it's just flat.
Yeah. Try not to have a hierarchy.
Is your document publicly available? Or would you be... I'd love to share something like it.
Actually, we just make a new webpage at the moment. No, but
could be like a standard handbook in Workfeed for inspiration.
But I would like to send it to you.
We can, of course, make it maybe some bits anonymized, but I really like...
And now we're talking about Workfeed, and in this scene, of course, we do also have it in the handbook in Workfeed.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
Because then you just search
and I actually
for
make a lot of handbooks, and also, so every month I send out also small handbooks so they could read just one.
But I'd love to make indeed like just a template because there's quite a lot of controversial stuff on it in a way, and it's not that it's bad; it's very good. But again, people are just not expecting it.
It's also clear that you thought about the psychology of these things, not just like
actually,
coming up with something.
And especially the young people, like we're talking about young people, that is maybe between 20 and 25. Think about what they should study, and they have this different kind of, waiter's job or kitchen assistants. And they have tried to be many places. And when I showed them the first time this frame of how we should take care of each other and how we should act to each other, both for guests and colleagues, it's like, okay, never seen that before. That's crazy, So, and the chef, some of the chefs like, what is that? In the beginning, why should I read something? Just give me some food to prepare.
Do you have this with bullets?
But a little bit, when we're talking about them, remember, to say hello, goodbye, that we have an open dialogue. Don't be afraid,
But it's so important to also get that camaraderie, right? Like, there's also, I'm curious about that because you're very focused on the culture. Like, how do you address the relation between the kitchen and the front of house as well? Because can be some clashes on occasion that we hear about. I was curious if this also helps.
We try also to do in one kitchen and in the new restaurant at the Aarhus Ø, that's an open kitchen. So all guests can hear everything,
that makes it so much easier.
So there it's very important. But I think it's also important in the old restaurant where, to close doors to the kitchen. I don't think we do a lot, but of course we do have some, employee parties for the employees twice a year. We do also have small team meetings. We actually just have a day here in January. It was very funny. Where actually what's part of a network in Aarhus called A-Kæden, they do some outside, they put up some outside saunas,
like the sauna goose.
Sauna goose, located at Skovmøllen in the forest. There was a lot of snow. And then we invited all the chefs. We have around 12. And the new head chef, his first day.
Nice.
In swimsuit, yeah. And then
is it like this every day?
Yeah, and then some of all our employees are waiters that have more than 100 hours a month. So there's a lot because we're 75 employees. So I think we're 20 or something. And then we have a great afternoon in sauna goose, and a little bit of good food in swimsuit. So that's also why to connect people.
Yeah, exactly. You get to bond, do something else. And again, I think that small rule that you have, even though it is so
it's simple, but make it simple.
Start like that, right? If everyone is just saying hi, and then the quick next question is, "Oh, how are you doing?" And before you know it, you're just
so we make some areas when they meet outside job as well, and said, of course, after job they can have a beer or soda or whatever. One of our employees that we had for 2.5 years now also just turned 25, and he needed a place to have his birthday. So of course he couldn't have one of our rooms.
It sounds when your employees are arranging staff parties.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a really good place to work.
I hope so. Often I said, don't ask me, ask my employees. But
I'm very curious to hear, like, what are the biggest challenges you're facing right now then?
The first come to my mind is actually, and it's not a big, but it's because it's only, I think, 2%, but it's the guests which don't accept or respect our employees. And I think it's a thing not only in our business, but, within the hospitality. Yeah.
We also see it with our support.
Yeah, not being... talking a good voice to our employees. That's a big challenge. But it's only, I think, 2 to 5%. But also, if they had like a bad feedback written, the day after, it's like, why didn't you say anything yesterday? Yeah. Then we could help you. People being rude.
It's easier to write something almost anonymously afterwards, right?
Yeah. So I think that's the biggest challenge. Maybe a lot of people say no guests, no, turnover. I think we are in a good, path at the moment. But I think guests, and it's not everybody, because there's so many nice guests, of course.
I find it weird how you can be like that when you're in a restaurant, because you're supposed to have a good time. You're supposed to chill. I mean, some of the support we have, sometimes people can be rude, but maybe they are having trouble doing payroll and they have a 1-hour deadline and we have to help them with that. I get why you're stressed in that situation, but if you're dining with your friends or whatever,
but of course we made mistakes. Of course we make mistakes.
Yeah, but everyone does.
This Sunday, it was like a day, one was sick. We were a little bit behind from the beginning, but they were doing their best. And actually on my way to this interview today, one of the young waiters called me and said, "Oh, did you see the feedback? Sorry." I said, "You don't have to sorry. You did your best. And I know you're taking care of the guest, and Sunday was just, it's not all Sundays fun days, So,
but also clearly,
part of it, right?
Clearly thinking about the feedback. Just
that
they
are, and we are actually when we have a feedback written, or if people call us, we will of course answer. But I write back, or our restaurant managers write back to everyone.
That's great.
Everybody
to also make them feel seen.
Yeah.
But I guess to quickly take it back to why people are maybe mean or frustrated, I think it is also just the underlying reason of something else that's going on.
Maybe.
And maybe also a nice moment to take it shortly back to the cultural differences in general, also from your time in the Dominican Republic. Because I expect there you will see that a lot less, at least from locals. That I'm not sure, I might be wrong, and I'm curious to learn more about that.
Definitely. Again, we are so used to have a high level of everything. We expect so much here So that's easier to complain about small things. And especially right now, sometimes I have to say sorry, but this war, we actually are middle in a war. So how can you complain about the coffee was a little bit colder than yesterday, or that there's only one part of cheese from Alla Unica and not two?
Yeah.
It's small things. So, but of course we cannot say, hey, there's war. Please stop.
Have some perspective, yeah.
But that's sometimes, and then when we talk with our employees about it, then we laugh a little bit and say, hey, you're not allowed to say this, but think something about.
Yeah.
Do you have any?
Put it on a higher level.
Do you have any ritual after you close the restaurant where you get together, or do people
every
just go
Wednesday, our restaurant manager and the sous chef in the kitchen in the restaurant, different restaurants, take a little bit, go back and see how it was, and then of course they call. Like today, she called me and said, "Oh, have you seen it?" And I said, "Yes, but are you okay?" And then actually in Workfeed as well, when they check out.
Oh, you saw shift feedback?
Then they give the feedback. The checkout. Then we ask them to rate.
Oh, okay, you do that.
Yeah,
that's
to
nice.
With the smileys.
Yeah, that's
so, and then they comment,
Yeah.
and of course, so I said to them, use it as a comment. So, say today was not the best because of a guest, or today actually, something.
You use the logbook as well for because there you can also put guest feedback in and stuff.
Actually, I don't use
You can
it.
show it afterwards.
Yeah, okay.
Might be very nice for you as well.
It could be, yes, but we use it, and I think as more as, again, the employees feel safe, and and that they can always call. I think it's very important as a management group in this area that we are always very close to them. Not that we should sit on them every day, and I visit all the restaurants many times a week, but they also take the responsibility on their own. It's important, and give it to them and said, we are just behind you, and we will help you.
Yeah, but that's great.
And of course, then when we have a big success, as we do have, then flag it. The champagne.
Yeah, celebrate it.
Yeah, celebrate.
I might have a solution for your problem with the guests. The one you also apply to your employees. Make a one-pager, stick it in front of the menu. Just put the house rules.
I believe it was Madklubben or Dining 6. One of those two had a yellow card.
Yeah, it's Madklubben.
Yeah.
So they would give guests a yellow card if it was a warning, a red card.
I don't know if it using it, but it's almost the same. And I said one day when I have more time, I will write a book, or take all the funny feedbacks that people, and then put it in kind of a book to just show what people actually say. It's like, it's crazy what they actually expect sometimes.
Those, little tile marks that you can put up.
So,
but it is in the toilet.
It is clearly something a lot of restaurants.
So that's a big challenge, but I think we're in a good, it's. Yeah, I just love it, and that's why I'm here. I just love to see the development in our employees. I just love to see how we can, build the business. And of course, right now we have 3 restaurants. This year we're not opening more, but we hope to.
The dream is to grow further.
Yes, it is.
What would you like to?
We don't know. We should not, grow too fast. I think we should. Again, take care of the brand and the historical places that we have. Take care of the employees and the planet in the bigger, environment. And then grow step by step. But it's definitely a dream. And then my dream is that one day, as I started to say, or maybe we just talked about it in the beginning, that we will get stars to have the best. Environment.
I think we spoke about it before we pressed play.
But to both have Michelin, not that we're going for Michelin star, but to have stars for the food, to have stars for the good place to work.
Stars now, right? So maybe they should add like a pink or a blue star, whatever color, doesn't matter, for like a place that treats their employees very well.
That's, as I said, people first, then planet, and then profit.
I'm curious, how would you measure which restaurants then had the best employee? Like, would you do surveys among the staff there?
Now we're talking. I would like next time it could be an employee, because when I said this, that we are a good place to work, I think we are. But of course, you have to ask my employees.
But I think there's an easy way. the same way as they go for the food, they just come in anonymously and they ideally you check around, see how are people being treated. Of course, it's a bit difficult to go and look in the kitchen, but
ask them.
People.
I think maybe have more like an open,
It's the same when we did that before, where we just asked a lot of them about what they cared about at work. Why do you stay at a place? And we did this survey where we just asked, like, was it 1,000 people?
Yeah.
So I think it's probably the easiest way to actually validate.
There's so many, technology solutions for this. So
yeah, exactly.
I just wanted that it's not only the food, and I think the food is being even better if the staff is treated well.
Yeah, exactly. We can also help Michelin a bit and send some exports of feedback data.
Yeah.
Right. Like.
So, and I think if you treat your employees, the human, in a good manner, then the profit will come. So then we'll guests will visit you again and again and again.
Yeah, it all starts with the people.
Yeah.
I honestly hope that the vision you have for the culture, that every restaurant will apply that, so that everyone...
I think it's something that we do together.
Yeah,
it's not only us. So, but we
keep talking about it.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
Thank you so much for coming by. It was lovely to hear like a very different vision, I think. And again, I hope a lot of people will take note.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.